Jessi Calzado-Esponda escaped from Cuba 17 years ago with her aunt and grandmother. On the sixth day, the U.S. Coast Guard rescued them.
I am from Cuba, Havana, Cuba, and I've been living in the United States since I was 7 years old. I came in a raft, and I was placed in a raft by accident. I remember the whole ride. It was 5 days. It was in the storm. We lost our water. We lost our water, our food supply. It was 17 people and a dog.
Jessi ultimately settled in Tampa, Florida.
My aunt passed away shortly after, a few years after arriving. So my only family that I had left was my grandmother, and that's who raised me. I guess the way we made it work was the way that any new immigrant makes it work. You had to knock on doors, you had to not give up, you had to take whatever jobs were given to you.
Jessi went to Blake High School of the Arts, where she sang in the choir and was president of 2 dance clubs. After graduation, she moved to Washington, D.C., hoping to work for Congress.
So when I was 12 years old, I met Kathy Castor, who was my then representative in Florida. And when I arrived here in D.C., I remembered, oh, Tampa has a representative, and I actually met her. So she told me to call her if I ever needed anything. And I called the office, and I literally said, I met Kathy Castor when I was little, and she told me to call her if I ever needed anything. So here's me calling, I want an internship at your office.
Jessi began that internship in February of 2009, and through persistence was able to intern for another member of Congress. She had been staying temporarily with a mentor until the living arrangement fell through, and she became homeless. Despite her predicament, the second internship led to a permanent staff assistant position by July of 2009.
Like the first month of me working, I was still homeless. I was still going to the shelters every night. I also, at one point, I got tired of shelter life, so I decided to do couch surfing. I found this website that people would literally let you stay on their couch. I would always be the first person in the office, and I would eat from all the different receptions and different parties and different events, lunches and luncheons that are hosted in the Capitol. And then for a little bit of money, I would do babysitting on the side. And that's kind of how I paid for my Metro card, by babysitting. One of the couch surfers was like, don't go back to the shelter. You're about to start getting paid and stuff like that. Just stay at my couch. You don't have to pay anything. And so I stayed at her couch for 2-3 weeks, and then 3 weeks passed and I got my first paycheck. I got an apartment, and the first thing I did was to bring my grandmother from Florida, relocate her here to DC.
Jessi is now a proud U.S. citizen.
When I'm talking to people who are unemployed, here's what I tell them. I tell them, follow your heart, follow your passions. Because if you're looking at paychecks and how much money you're gonna make and all that stuff, you often miss the big picture.
Jessi's story of survival and tenacity is a reminder that giving up is not an option. Jessi made it from a raft out of Cuba to a job in Congress. Keep trying. CareerFuel.net can help.
I want everyone who's unemployed right now to realize that there's tons of opportunities right around the corner. You just literally have to go and find them. And there are a lot of organizations and there's a lot of programs that are more than happy to move you to that direction. You do have to ask, and you do have to knock on doors. And as long as you don't give up hope, you could do anything.